Boy, yes, we are now live.
Yeah, you sure you want to do this?
Yeah, no, I'm having regrets. Well, fortunately, we don't have anyone on yet because they don't. And this is such short notice. It may just be the two of us, Jeff.
Okay.
We shall see. But so look, guys, as you get on, let me throw something in the into the chat. And there we go. So Jeffrey, we'll get started here in literally. Oh, he left. That person left. Okay.
Saw that I was on and said,
Yeah, he said, "Man, that Jacklish guy is on."
Can't have any part of that.
No, that's fine. But yeah, short notice this morning. So
there you go.
So it may be that again, it's just the two of us. Anyway, this will be good. I've got what I'd like to do is I got 4 little nuggets here I want to get out there about the overhead. I've got 2 videos, this one in doubles, and I've got another one in singles. And so I'm going to go through those 4 things, and then like to get your take on how you think about your overhead, not so much about how you teach it, but maybe how you think. I mean, I'm assuming that you teach the same thing that works for you, but yeah, just be thinking about as we're going through this, kind of what you do with your overhead.
All right.
And then
all right.
And that was fun yesterday, man. That was I don't know if you saw Mike Rogers' comment, but he just said, nice to see the two of you back again.
Oh, did you post? I didn't see that you posted it already.
Yeah, that whole thing, I've now learned that you and I need to do it live, because if I record it, first of all, I record it. That's fine. It takes as long as it takes. And what yesterday was darn near 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And then I have to download it from StreamYard. Yeah. Well, that takes a while. And then I've got to edit it in iMovie, which is easy to do. That takes no time. But then I've got to save it. That takes forever.
Right.
And then I have to upload it to YouTube, and that takes even more than forever. So I figured, wait a minute, why not just do it live? That's why I'm doing that. That's why I'm doing this morning. There's no post-production required. I can go about my day. And so anyway.
Yeah, I like it. Okay.
That's the deal.
Live it is then.
Yeah. And so the big challenge is with this video is that it doesn't end up too choppy. It's a little bit. I kind of did a little test yesterday, and I'm just going to kind of get it started here, but it'll be a little choppy. Actually, when I kind of frame by frame, it's not too bad. But what do you think? Is that a little choppy there on the live part?
Okay. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, good.
You see what's going on.
Yeah, good. All right.
Yeah.
So
I like your little quick hop move there on the return, man. You took a quick little short back swing and little pop. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like, well, yeah, let's work on the return to serve a little bit. Why don't we do that? Yeah. For me, it's always really just I'm going to step forward, because if the guy lays it in there, you never know exactly where the serve's coming, right? But if the guy lays it in there where it's kind of right here at your happy place,
that's
why not just keep moving in?
Yeah.
And especially against a guy, and I think Jerry. I mean, he prefers the baseline, even though he for some reason came in behind this now.
Probably didn't expect you to be moving up like that on his serve.
It could be. So this gets interesting right here, Jeff. So George with, I think, a pretty good volley, and
actually, I'm gonna time out you. Can you go back to your pre-Jerry hitting the serve, your setup? I want to mention something here. This gets lost in translation sometimes.
All right, go.
So like right now, your toes, you're square to the baseline.
Yeah.
Even though the ball is coming from your left.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want players to realize that when you make your split check pre pre-forehand prep, your feet now have just squared to the incoming ball, like to
That's right.
his contact. So I don't want people. It's something I noticed. So I just want to be sure that if you don't stay in a squared position, you always square to the incoming ball. So right there, he just made contact right there, and you squared your feet to him.
Yeah.
To the incoming ball. So anyway, it was just something I noticed.
Well, no, that's good. And it's because normally, as you know, I play the ad side. So because when I'm playing the ad side, and maybe it's just that I haven't played the do side enough, is I set up right here in the return where I'm squared up to the server. I'm not squared up to not squared up to the server's partner. So if I'm over here, I don't know. That's all right. So good. All right. And I'm going to ask you about trying to help Cliff out a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
And then this one right here, I think you'll find kind of interesting. Good volley by George, down low. And now I got a little tricky half volley.
Yeah.
So I could have stopped it right here and said, what do you think's the right shot? Well, I'm going to stop it right here and say, what do you think's the right shot? And I think that I don't know. You know how this goes. All of a sudden, you just get a harebrained idea, which is, let's see. Should I go in the middle? Should I go over to the deuce alley? Shove it.
You got a little bit around there. Yeah.
Yeah. Should I kind of make it really fancy and come around the corner and try to fake everybody out? But oh my gosh, now all of this is exposed if he doesn't bite on the fancy thing, or you have that kind of like wild, all right, this is a practice match. Maybe you do it in a real match. I don't know. Or just, why not just play a little half volley lob? I don't know.
Go.
Yeah.
Worked out.
Yeah. So anyway, here's the overhead. And let me go through these 4 things that I think about. And number 1, I think because with the overhead, we have more time than any other shot in the game to think, what's my shot choice? Where should I go with it? What do I want to do with this shot? And too often, I think what happens, at least what I used to do, Jeff, is I'd kind of go through a little laundry list of what are my options here? And by the time I finally committed to it, the ball had, oh my God, all of a sudden I'm jammed. It's just kind of crowding me.
Right.
So first thing for me is I've already sort of anticipated, based on my half volley lob being good, this is going to be a lob, right? So I'm starting to kind of go through a little bit of a laundry list, and now I've just decided, okay, I know exactly where I'm going, and gosh darn it, I'm going to fully commit. I'm not going to change it, no matter what, matter what, and that is a big time mindset, trust, commitment thing. So that would be thing 1. Thing 2 is I want to make sure that my grip pressure is super relaxed, because if it's too firm, you just don't get any natural swing speed. You don't get any real power. You don't kind of get, a semi, I don't want a big top spin thing here, but I want to make sure that it's not being pulled down. It's actually, it's so relaxed in here that thing 3 is I like to initiate the swing, not from my hand, and pull down on the ball. Now it's tough. The ball's coming down and you're trying to time this thing with you pulling it down. I think about the shoulder actually initiating the upswing back up into the trajectory of the ball.
Yeah.
And when I do that with a relaxed grip, which naturally kind of rotates or pronates or whatever the word is, it gets through it. And I just get more natural power on it. And then the 4th thing is I'm always thinking that this is, at worst case, it's going to be a 2-shot play. I can't, look, obviously they can't cover 100% of the court over there, but they can anticipate if you're going to go to some open part of the court. So they can always be there. So the mindset is always, okay, I've got my target. I'm relaxed in the grip. I'm going up with the shoulder and I'm going to the target and I'm just assuming it's coming back. And now it's more, this one didn't really work out as much as the next one will, which is, it's kind of like an approach shot. I want to recover that net position. At the same time, if I'm going over here and putting the ball in front of my partner, what's the chance that another lob might happen? And the chances are pretty good. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's my responsibility. If I play it over here, then I got to move in, and my partner's got to maybe hold the position right there and look for a really tough deep lob over here to cover.
Yeah.
So then let me go through the next one, Jeff, which is, this is from the semis of the clay courts this year or last year in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And so here's a little unusual for me. I usually take this and slide the approach, but for whatever reason, again, a harebrained idea. Let's top it. Let's top it. But it was good enough and wide enough, and that the guy throws up a lob. So here's a situation where the same thing. I've seen it. I now know. I've now committed to my target. You know, I could go cross court with this. I could go down the middle. I could go back up the line with it. But I'm already relaxed in the grip. I'm already thinking myself, gathering myself, trying to make sure that the ball stays. Hold on, let me get rid of that text. That the ball stays in front of me. That it's not literally over my head. One of the worst phrases in the game of tennis is overhead.
Right.
No, man, it's over the right shoulder if you're right-handed.
Right.
And so same thing here is, let's get relaxed, and let's play this as an approach shot. And I'm assuming he's going to be there. That's okay. I'm just going to hit a quality ball, take my time, and assuming he's going to be there. And, you know, it doesn't happen. So those are my four things. What do you think?
I love the fact that your first move in this one, you know, at Berkeley, you've hit the half, you know, you hit the half volley lob. You start to, you know, as you keep going there, you're reading it, and instead of overplaying the net, because you're reading that the guy, there's a high probability Jerry's going to put the ball up, right?
Yeah.
He's got his back to you the whole time. Low probability Jerry's going to go for the tweener, right?
Well, yeah, probably. That's right. That's right.
And so you don't overplay that net position, right? Because even if he does hit a chunky lob, you know, something that's dying on the vine, you can close that gap in 2 steps. You're there anyway, right? So I like the fact too that you immediately get turned to the side as you're shuffling back. So you've already set your body to get the right relationship to the ball. I love that. The other thing I like here is that you take the ball court centric. You know that your placement where you've decided to go, you end up being a little bit more, you know, deuce court. You ended up hitting it right at his feet. But even if you were court centric and the ball went, you know, you split the middle and went to the center.
Yeah.
I like that better for the geometry for where you and your partner are on the court right now.
Yeah.
Because your partner is recovering. He's coming back in, and you have to close the gap a little bit. But because of that, where you've hit the ball, there is no straight shot down the middle of the court. It's going to be on angle. You know what I mean? So you get to close that gap. Whereas if you hit your ball straight back to Jerry in front of you, there's a huge gap here, and your partner's a little bit kind of hung out a little bit because his feet are going to be exposed if Jerry can actually get the ball down on him, you know, or toward the middle. But you both have to cover a lot of court to clog the center of the court by the time, you know, your overhead hits the ground. So I like the fact that you took a cross court, and that puts the ball right in front of your partner if the opponent is going to make the shot.
So how do you think technique-wise about this? I think you're absolutely right about direction. But when that lob goes up, Jeff, what I would say more or less about where, but what are you thinking now in your technique? What do you, again?
First thing is that I know I'm on a, you know, my overhead's going to be working that day. If I'm getting around quick, meaning if I'm getting turned to the side quick, that means I know I'm reading the ball quick. If that move is slow and I'm a little bit let's say the turn is a little shallow, that tells me I'm reading the ball slow. That I didn't get a good read on it, so I'm not committed to what's going on. I'm still like, I'm still looking for the ball. I'm still deciding, am I going to pull it down in the air? Do I have to let it bounce? Do I, there's the whole laundry list of what could possibly happen, right?
So what would happen with you on a day where you just described that maybe you're not, quote unquote, reading it quite as quickly, or
I may have let that bounce.
I see. Yeah.
Right. And
right.
because
So
it's only
really backed up on it.
Yeah, really back up on it. It's always easier to shuffle in underneath the ball after the bounce rather than trying to you're kind of heel toeing it as you're stuttering back because you didn't make that first good turn.
Right.
I'd say it's classic. Let's say 3-5-4-0 overhead technique. They kind of just shuffle straight back and the racket goes up and it's a little bit pancakey, the grip, the whole thing, right? That kind of move on the ball where they're really never getting around completely. So for me on a day that that I'm having for whatever reason it's just I'm reacting a little slow to it. I've got to make sure that's my first go-to is to remind myself that I've got to get around faster. And in order to do that, I've got to read the ball. Ball recognition has to be a little better.
Well, what I like what you said there too is that, look, I mean, if you're going to let this thing bounce, to me, it's like, okay, I want to get back so far. I want to err on my spacing on the side of being too far back. Right. If I'm going to let it bounce, so I can really be able to play it as a natural moving forward approach shot. And you're right. On this day, I was just kind of feeling it. I mean, I've got a lot of kind of what's the right shot samples from this practice match where I was going, oh, okay.
One of those days, huh?
How do I bottle that? How do I? So anyway, all right. So
you casualed the half volley lob pretty easy there. So it must have been a great day, right?
That's right. Okay, so let's go next. So what else do you think about once you get position on this overhead, if you're going to take it on the fly?
No, I think you're spot on. I think again, it's that. A lot of players they even if they get in the right place, they end up, let's say, collapsing on the ball as opposed to moving up to the ball, right? Like on your serve, right? Trying to move up and out on the motion to make higher contact with the ball, which you do really well here. Boom, right there, comfortable. You're on top of your feet, and then you're just comfortably now. You're on top of your feet. There, you can see there's no collapse. You're not digging yourself up out of a hole after you made your contact. You're balanced on your feet, and now you're just seeing what's going on, and you're just comfortably moving in toward the center of the court.
Yeah, and don't you think? I mean, I used to do it. Well, I still do it from time to time. Where when I'm missing my overhead, is I try to time the ball coming down and me actually pulling the ball down into the court.
Yeah, pulling the racket through as opposed to driving up through it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. So what else do you think about on your overhead in this situation? Anything else?
No, I think again now it's just a matter, for again when on the day that you're feeling it. If I'm feeling like I'm really popping it, like I'm on it. Yeah, I might, I don't know that I would choose a different target. Maybe I'd try and go a little bit more court centric. I don't know if you were aiming at the guy or not. But
I was just sort of aiming for the quadrant. I didn't really know. I mean, look, let's be honest, when you're looking up, how do you have any kind of peripheral where that guy is over there?
Right.
And if you do have peripheral, then you're just not going to pick up the lob coming back down. So I'm just thinking more about, all right, let's just go over there because, I mean, am I aiming for the guy's feet? No.
Right.
It just works
you're
out
just
that way.
You're just hitting a good deep overhead.
Yeah. And look, right before I hit it, I mean, George is still kind of on the service line. Now he starts to back up. So I'm just still thinking, let's go over there. Let's put the ball in front of my partner. And let's kind of recover. And now we see that, well, it's just an unintended higher quality target than what And that's the reality of this game, is that how many
Right.
times do we have unintended higher quality shots?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't count how many times I've hit the ball a hair late for a clean winner.
That's
And
right.
I look like a genius.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Gee, so I
Okay.
love this. This is perfect. This is exactly what I'm talking about, where the guy puts a good high lob up and you decide, you know what, I think I'm going to let this bounce, but you can see how far, like you backed away from it at least a step and a half. There's the bounce. It's up, boom, and then you just shuffle in underneath it. That's a good 2 steps there almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Well, yeah, the
to
key
get
is
comfortable. Now you're just comfortable. Now you're just, hitting it. Your momentum carries you the next step into the court. But your setup is exactly the same. You got good ball recognition as you slide up underneath it. The hands are up, but you look outside how turned to the side you are, as if you're hitting a serve. I mean, you're right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, that's good. That's good. And again, I want to emphasize that sometimes overheads, we are being taught to, or being told, you got to put it away.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, I hit a good quality overhead to a, I mean, what is that?
Yeah.
2 feet inside the
feet within,
sideline.
yeah, good
But
margin.
but this is clay, so the bounce is going to slow it down a little bit. But we can never stop that guy from guessing where you're going. If he'd anticipated, for whatever reason, that I was going over to the due side, okay, then it becomes a winner. But it's got to be a 2-shot mindset, and it's got to be, I'm okay with him touching the ball, words from Jeff Jacklich, and that whatever comes back, we'll just take it from there. If this guy's half a step closer, I got to deal with another lob. Okay, we'll just deal with it. But this whole notion that you have to put it away, I think screws up a lot of players.
Yeah, I think exactly right. I think no different than kind of getting on a kind of a hanging first volley.
Yeah.
Thinking that, oh, I should really do something with this. But the problem is you're at the service line. It's a first volley. You're at the service line, or maybe a little bit behind the service line. And all of a sudden you're trying to create an angle that doesn't exist, or you overplay what's going on, and maybe you get the ball to the other side of the court too fast because you've overhit. You think you're gonna, I should go with the net guy. Well, if you're at the service line, you don't have proximity. That's the way I like to kind of put it. I don't have proximity on the net guy because I'm still 20 feet away from the net. He's 5 to 10 feet off the net, even if he's the net player. So I got 25 feet to carry this ball, and I'm going to try and, do what I'm told in the clinic, which is if you get that high floater, you always take it at the net guy. You go through him. Well, listen, I'll stand there all day long with my peers when they're hitting a volley from the service line, and if I'm 5 feet off the net, I'll take that challenge all day long. Please,
right? Yeah,
bring it, because you just can't generate enough pace to out reflex the guy at the net. You need, like I said, you need to have proximity in those tight quarters. So in the overhead, it makes no sense whatsoever. If you don't have the ball, if you're not inside the 5 to 10 foot range on top of the net, then yeah, go ahead. Like, take your cut.
I still think, though, if you're at that close to the net, you've got so much open court to be able to hit into, and why risk?
You still don't need to overplay it.
Why risk going at your quick hands if you've got open court? Because we see this all the time. You go at a guy, and now you're close to the net. You're for a nanosecond out of position, because if the guy reflexes it over your head, it's like, crap.
Yeah, it's deer in the headlights time.
Yeah, good. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Jeffrey, good stuff today. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Glad. I'm sorry it's raining up there in Napa, California, but
I'm assuming
for
it's
the rest
74.
Of us.
I'm assuming it's a tough day there in the desert. It's 74.
Well, let's see. Gosh darn it. Those grass courts. I've got Rick Meyer out there today at in about a little bit over an hour. Ricky Meyer. I mean, the great. Back in the day, he's now 67, 68. He got ranked as high as like 82 in the world in singles and 50 something in doubles.
Yeah.
You know, he won a pro tournament in singles. He's beaten Nastasi twice. He's beaten all kinds of guys.
Street cred.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, if you go to Wikipedia and you look up Richard Meyer tennis, you'll go, wow. And I'm telling you, this guy's serve still is like, I mean, he's 6'3" and he's just got a motion that's like warm butter. It's ridiculous. And he just comes through it and it just comes off the racket with such little effort and just blows you up. Anyway,
fun.
So, and he asked me to play doubles over the Wilson. So in the 65s, I said, Rick, look, man, I appreciate that. That's nice, man. But let's get real. Let's get you a 65 partner. And he said, no, man, I want to play with you. And I said, okie doke. All right.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So, well, Jeff, thanks again. Guys, look, I've got a free course here for you over at webtennis.com. All you have to do is go over there, drop in a first name and email address. You will get free access to what I'm calling the 80-20 reality. And the 80-20 reality is 80% of the time we're in a match, Jeff, what are we not doing? We're not playing points.
Right.
We're sitting around between points, just kind of ruminating and getting all pissed off. God dang it, how can I do that? What's going to happen now? Oh my God, I've got to win this point. I'm up 4-2. It's 40-15. If I win this point, then I'm up 5-2. And if I'm 5-2, he'll screw up. I'll win the set. If I win the set, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know is the choke fest begins. So the 80-20 reality is that 80% of the match, you've got to be able to manage that time really effectively. Yeah. That time we spent between points and on side changes. And when you do, it gives you clarity of how to start the next point. And that clarity, how to start the next point, it's got a residual effect. It works its way into the point itself. So what I do between points, there's 4 specific parts between points I do that I want to show you, teach you what that is. And it's a free course over at webtennis.com. What else you got going on there, Jeff? I know you're getting rained out today. You got some,
tomorrow
teaching like coming up?
Yeah, tomorrow looks like it. We'll be able to get it in. So I've got about 4 hours tomorrow with
good.
We got Rich coming up and Erica coming up. And then Friday, we got Eric and I have a practice match down at the VTC. Okay, good. So I'll be good. Just right now, it's just with the weather and that, just trying to sneak anything we can get in, before the Wilson to get, I need some point play. Definitely. Hey guys, if you're in Northern California, or if you want to travel to Northern California and you want to get the real deal, a little bit of time with Jeff on the court. I know he's undercharging. I keep telling him, man, dude, you're just, come on, we got to up it. But he never listens to me. Anyway, if you're there and you want to get some time with Jeff on the court, it's just shoot him an email, jeff@jacklets365.com. Yeah, it's okay too. It's kind of an okay place. It's a private court on a oak studded knoll surrounded by vineyards. So it's kind of okay. God darn it. Okay, well. Again, now you're really undercharging. So, all right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me and Jeff today. This was a test to see if that video worked okay. And what do you think, Jeff? It looked okay. I felt okay. Good. Well, I actually upgraded my router system. I got something from. It's called Netgear Nighthawk. Ooh, which sounds right stealthy there. I just said, man, sounds like a Black Ops thing. It is. It's total. I should have all kinds of ear gear and stuff like that. But you gave away the hamster wheel and the 2 hamsters you had running that last one. Okay. I gave away the Spectrum router. You're locked in with their modem, but anyway, on the techie side, I'll tell you what I'm using now, and I really love this because I wear it in the car and it's really easy. This is the bone induction, so it sits actually in front of the ear. It's not in the ear. Yeah. Okay. And the sound is perfect, and I like the little lightweight, which you push out of the way. But I love it being in the car because I drive a mini convertible and it can be kind of noisy in there.
Right.
And
right.
I love it because in the car I can put up a podcast or anything I want, and and it's right there. But it doesn't. But I can hear anything else too because it's not in my ear. Really comfortable. So,
Cool.
anyway,
Cool.
there you go.
All right. We're gonna shut down the stream here. I'm gonna shut it down, Jeff. I don't know if that means I leave. I mean, if I cut both of us off, but whatever. Guys, any questions? Shoot me an email, Brent@webtennis.com, or leave a comment, question, remark, feedback in the comments area. And see you guys next time.
Woohoo!